Hi there. I know that you probably know this already, but I am passionate about conflict resolution or reconciliation among people. And there are some key things that I think are really important in resolving conflict. One of the thing, and there, I'm going to say a few terms in this video, some terms that I think are important and some steps involved. So first of all, it's really valuable when you're in conflict with someone to have a seek to understand conversation. And you say from the get go, the goal of this conversation is for me to seek to understand your perspective, what was going on in your heart and mind, and what you saw, so that we can better understand. And I will not be defensive. I will not attack you. I will not judge you. I will not debate you. I really want to just create a safe place for you to share. So that is what a seek to understand conversation is. And then if you want to share some things or counter them in some way, that needs to be a subsequent conversation. So this is the parameter of the conversation. It's not good for me to be defensive about the thing you say to me. I need to totally listen. I need to put that bias down to completely hear you. And then if tomorrow I feel like there's some, I've been thinking and praying about what you said and I have some things to say about that, then that's another conversation with a different purpose. So we seek to understand genuinely. When you do have opportunity in a conflict through one of the conversations, you want to own your part. What can you do that helps? Also, you want to listen well. There are a lot of barriers to listening. Listening is really challenging, especially if you disagree with someone, but it's so important to hear more. You can even say, tell me more about that. That's a way of getting them to expound more. And you're not saying, oh, you're right, or I agree, but rather just tell me more about what you're thinking and feeling. And when it is time for you to share, you should speak assertively, not with blaming language, not with you did this and you did that, but instead to speak assertively about what you want or need in this situation. So that's just basic conflict management kind of stuff. A couple Gottman terms I want to share. One is harsh startup. And one of the things that Gottman has studied as a relationship expert is that if a conversation starts abruptly, starts with putting someone on the defense, starts with attacking, it's called a harsh startup, and it really wears on the relationship. I think of it as the stick shift car that I had when I was a teenager, that when you don't really know how to drive a stick shift and you wear it down trying to go when you're not in gear, it over time is incredibly damaging. And so a harsh startup's really hard for a relationship. So the better thing is a soft start. And a soft start is saying, I really appreciate you, or thank you so much for being here. I know that some compassion or empathy. I know this has been hard for you. And these types of things make a better start to a conversation or a meeting. So a soft start versus a harsh setup or harsh startup is really, really key. And so anytime you can do that at a meeting or conversation, it's better. Also, the term repair attempt. So a repair attempt is a word or a look or a touch that is trying to build a bridge. Anything that says, I'm sorry, I care about you, let's move forward with this together. Anything that insinuates, I want to try to make things better. The problem with this is sometimes when someone's really upset, they don't see the repair attempt. They don't hear it. They don't hear the person saying, I'm really sorry, I want to do better. Or they don't hear the gentle response like, yeah, whatever, like say it's let's go out to dinner, and the repair attempt is, yes, you choose the restaurant, that sort of thing. So I think when you're part of a meeting or a conversation where you're trying to make things better, it can be really helpful for you to notice repair attempts. So anybody that you see offering anything like that is intended to help, and if it's not realized or received, to say, hey, it looked like they were trying to make a connection there. The last thing I just want to say is the difference between managing and resolving conflict. So we talk generally about resolve conflict. We want to resolve conflict. Well, not all conflict can be resolved because we can't change people's personalities and we can't change what has happened in the past. And my personality, if it has conflict with your personality, or some of the ways we just look at the world differently, like my dad and I and our worldviews, we're not going to resolve that conflict. That isn't something we can just work out and come to a new plan. There are managed conflicts, and managing conflict is about together taking that tension and doing the best we can to make decisions that will work for the best of everybody. And it's not going to feel wrapped up with a bow, because it's not resolvable. So one of the best things you could do is call it, like, this isn't going to get resolved, this is going to be managed. And what does that mean to manage this conflict with excellence in a God-honoring way? How can we continue to touch base with this? Sometimes it means coming back every week or every 30 days to kind of see how we're doing on it all, because managing that conflict is a forever thing or a long-term thing. And I just think it's healthy to say this isn't actually resolvable. We're going to manage it together. So I hope that's helpful as you're navigating conflict. And here's a resource.